Hey there, and welcome to the Do Life Big podcast. This podcast is going to be your jam if you want to live to your full potential and don't believe in half-assing anything in your life. If we want to do life big, that means we've got to get out of our own way because we only have this one shot to make it awesome. I'm your host, Kathy, and I'm a mom of three whose BFF is cold brew, a retired school teacher turned online entrepreneur, and an author. I'm loud, bold, and will always keep it real. I'm determined to live my best freaking life possible, and I'm here to help you do the same. I'll be packing this podcast with tips, motivation, inspiration, and strategies to finally get you where you want to go. And we will have a ton of laughter along the way because, let's be honest, we can't ever take ourselves too seriously, right? I'm so excited you are here with me today. Now let's get this party started. Hey, my friend, what is up? And welcome back to another episode of Do Life Big. I hope that you are having an amazing day today, a truly amazing day today. And I can't thank you enough for being here today to listen to this episode of Do Life Big. Really excited for today's episode because we're going to dive into a topic that I know we all struggle with or have struggled with at one point or another, including myself. And that is the topic of self-worth and this whole idea of this trap that most people get themselves into of where they think, I will be worthy when, and then fill in the blank with whatever you want. This trap of, I'm not worthy right now. I'm only going to be worthy when I hit this certain achievement. And it's such a common struggle among most people where they tie their self-worth to achievements, to external validations, to milestones. And so the purpose of today's episode is to shift from this I'll be worthy when to I am worthy now because. And I want this for all of us here today. And so I wanted to start with a little story from a student who I worked with in the past on this. And I'm not going to say any names, obviously, but she was an online entrepreneur and she came to me and she wanted help with her mindset. And she started her business and she had huge dreams, just like all entrepreneurs have huge dreams. But she would constantly tell herself this story in her head of, I'll be worthy when I finally hit six figures. And so she would work late nights. She would take on every single client that she could possibly get. She would sacrifice time with her kids, with her family. But no matter how hard she worked and no matter how much she did, she always felt like she just was never doing enough. And even when she had successful months where she would earn like $5,000 or $10,000 a month, it still never felt like a win in her mind because she still was not at six figures yet. You know, she'd sit down to work, she'd get distracted, she'd scroll social media all the time, constantly comparing herself to others who seemed to have so much more success than her. And every time that she didn't hit her income goal, her self-doubt would creep in and she would just start to think, maybe I'm just not cut out for this. Maybe I don't deserve the success that I had once dreamed of. But what she realized after working with me and going through my mindset program was that she had been postponing her sense of worth because she was constantly moving the finish line. Even if she did hit six figures, she would likely just set the bar even higher, constantly never feeling like she was enough. And so what she had to do was she had to shift her mindset. And instead of tying her worth to her income, she started to measure her success by her impact, by her consistency, by her personal growth, by her actual income growth in her business. And she practiced feeling worthy now in the moment. And when she did that, she was able to show up with confidence. She was able to have more value for herself at every stage of her business growth. And really ironically, when she stopped chasing this worthiness, she naturally started to attract more success to her because she was no longer operating from this place of desperation and attachment, but she was operating from belief within herself. And so this shift that she went through, not only did it bring her more financial success, which obviously we all want, but it also brought her more joy and more fulfillment in her business. And so I wanted to start with that story because I just really wanted to hit home for you that your worth is not tied to an income level. If you don't believe that you're worthy right here, right now, simply because you just exist, no external milestone will ever be enough for you. Nothing will ever be enough. This whole I'll be worthy when is just a trap. And we hear it all the time in all areas of our life: business, relationships, jobs, health and wellness. I'll be worthy when I make six figures. I'll be worthy when I finally lose this weight. I'll be worthy when I find the perfect partner. I'll be worthy when I'm a better parent. And the list goes on and on and on. But this is how the mind creates a never ending cycle of dissatisfaction where you're never happy with yourself. It's never good enough with what you're doing right now. You ignore all the small wins along the way and the things that you are doing well because you're focusing on the end goal so much. So the truth about self-worth is that it's inherent, it's internal, it's not something that's earned. So we need to get better at separating self-worth from achievements, from roles, from opinions, from external validations. Because when you inherently believe that you are already worthy right here, right now, in this moment, that will in turn increase your confidence. It will bring you more peace. You will have success without creating any kind of burnout. Things will feel more aligned. Things will feel light. Things will just feel good. It won't feel like you're on this constant chase. That's exhausting. So how can we start to rewire your mind for this unshakable self-worth? So there's a couple of different things here, a couple of different tips that I want to give you. The first is to just start by having an awareness. Just the awareness of catching yourself when you have those I'll be worthy when thoughts is the first step. The next is to now, when you catch yourself having those I'll be worthy when thoughts, is to reframe them. So instead of saying or thinking in your head, I need to prove myself, change that to I already have value right here, right now. I already bring value to the table. And then put new daily practices into place. Things like self-affirmations. Write them down on sticky notes, put them all over your mirror when you're getting ready in the morning. Have one on your phone as your screensaver when you open it in the morning, so it's the first thing that you see. Set an alarm on your phone even. This is a good one that a lot of my students do. They have their list of their self-affirmations in their phone, and they have an alarm that goes off every day at the exact same time, that when the alarm goes off, they know to open up those notes and read those self-affirmations to themselves, because they know that the brain does not know the difference between real and imaginative, and that your brain will believe anything that you tell it. So if you tell it better thoughts, it's going to believe better thoughts, and that's how you shift your identity. So putting these new practices into place, like self-affirmations, will shift your identity. Setting boundaries for yourself and saying no. And really importantly, remembering to celebrate progress, not just outcomes. A really good strategy is to keep just a small journal by your nightstand every single night. And this is your journal of your successes and strengths. And every night before you go to sleep, sit down and spend literally 1 to 2 minutes. It doesn't take long. Spend 1 to 2 minutes and just draft out 2 to 3 wins of the day. What happened that went well for you today? What do you appreciate about yourself today? What compliments were given to you? What small wins, right? What happened that was good? Did you drink more water today? Did you decide to reach for the healthy protein snack instead of the ice cream container? Did you not criticize and complain about all the traffic that you were sitting in on the way to work today, and you just put on a podcast and listen to Do Life Big instead, right? These are all things that you can keep in this successes and strengths journal. So when you feel yourself start to go down this I'm not worthy path, or who am I to want this for myself, guess what you do? You take out your journal, you read to yourself all the amazing things about yourself and that have happened, that things that you've done well, things that people have said to you, things that people have complimented you on, and it immediately shifts your mood. It shifts your state that you're in, and that's how you shift your identity. So remember to celebrate that progress along the way, not just the outcomes. We tend to do that a lot, where we're so focused on the end goal that we completely dismiss all the small steps along the way. You can't just get from here to there by not taking those small steps. And if it weren't for those small wins along the way and the progress that you made along the way, you'd never get from point A to point B. And so reining it in and reminding yourself to celebrate those small wins, the progress, is critical. And so my challenge to you today is I want you to think of one area where you tied your self-worth to an outcome. Think of that one area where you tied your self-worth to some kind of an outcome. It could be business related, it can be just life, relationships, as a parent, to income, whatever it is. And I want you to rewrite it. And I want you to write down, I am worthy now because what? I am worthy now because I am here. I am worthy now because I exist. I am worthy now because I'm adding value to the world every day. So I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. I'm also inviting you to join my Inspired Living Collective, where we can dive into deeper mindset work together. And if you're interested in hearing more about that and learning how to become a part of that Inspired Living Collective, just send me an email at kathy.reuter@gmail.com and I'll get you all the deets on it. So thank you so much for being here today. You know I love you. I think you're awesome. And I will see you the next time. Bye. Thanks so much for listening in. I really appreciate you choosing to spend your time here with me today. You totally rock. Hey, listen, if you loved today's episode, go ahead and tag me on social and go share this with a friend right now. Like, do it immediately before the day gets ahead of you and you totally forget. Couldn't be more pumped to be on this journey with you guys. Go make today awesome, and I will see you the next time.